Stereochemistry. There is a series of lectures for stereochemistry. Today I am going to discuss first lecture from stereochemistry. Right? In today's lecture, we will discuss about introduction, types of isomerism, configurational isomers, optical isomers, chirality, and structural requirements for enantiomers. Start with introduction. First of all, what is isomers and isomerism? Right? Many organic compounds have same molecular formula but are different in their physical and chemical properties are known as isomers. Right? That means molecules have same number of atoms and same nature of atoms are present, then this, it has the same molecular formula, right? But they differ in their physical and chemical properties, right? These are known as isomers. And the phenomena of the isomers is known as isomerism. Next, types of isomerism. There are mainly two types of isomerism. One is structural isomerism and the second one is stereoisomerism. Right? Our topic of interest is stereoisomerism. Right? But let's look on some overview about the structural isomerism. Right? Structural isomerism is also known as constitutional isomers. Right? They are the isomers which are differ in the way the atoms are connected to each other. Right? There are further different 5 subclasses of structural isomers or types of structural isomers. First one is chain isomerism. Right? In chain isomerism, the components of the skeleton or structure are reordered to create different structures. Right? It is also known as skeletal isomerism. Right? Example is N-hexane. N-hexane have 6 number of carbon atoms and 14 numbers of hydrogen atoms. That is molecular formula C6H14. Right? It have different chain isomers like 2-methylpentane, 3-methylpentane, 2,3-dimethyl butane, 2,2-dimethylbutane. Right? So these are the different chain isomers of N-hexane. Right? Or you can say these 5 structures are chain isomers for each other. Right? All have the same molecular formula C6H14, but they are differ in arrangement of the atoms. Right? Next one is positional isomer. In positional isomer, the functional group present in the compound is on different position, right? In different isomers. That means molecules have same type of functional group, right? But the position of the functional group present in molecule is different, right? For example, pentanol. Pentanol have 3 positional isomers. 1 pentanol, 2 pentanol and 3 pentanol, right? All have same functional group, OH group, primary alcohol group, right? In 1 pentanol, OH group is present on first carbon. In 2 pentanol, OH group is present on second carbon, and in 3 pentanol, OH group is present on third carbon, right? So all are the positional isomers for each other, right? Next, functional isomerism. In functional isomers, the molecule have the same molecular formula, but they differ in the functional group present. Right? They have the different functional group. Right? For example, propanol and methoxyethane. Both have the same molecular formula C3H8O. Right? One oxygen atom. But both have this different functional group in compound present, right? In propanol, there is a presence of primary alcohol group, and in methoxyethane, there is presence of ether group, right? Next one is metamerism. Metamerism is the due to unequal distribution of carbon atoms on either side of the functional group, right? Functional group like ether and carbonyl group or amide function, right? in which on both sides some alkyl group or other group may be present, right? So here we take example of ether, then diethyl ether and methyl propyl ether. Both have same molecular formula C4H10O, right? But in diethyl ether, on each side of oxygen atom, two ethyl group is attached, right? But in methyl propyl ether, on one side of oxygen atom, one methyl group is attached, and on other side, one propyl group is attached, right? So it is unequal distribution of the carbon atoms either side of the functional group. That is the metamerism, right? Next one is tautomerism. In the tautomerism, there is migration or rearrangement of the proton and pi electron, right? That is known as the tautomerism. There are different types of tautomerism. For example, ketoenol tautomerism, imine tautomerism, right? So this is all about the structural isomerism. Now, in stereoisomerism, again two types of stereoisomers: conformational isomers, and second one is configurational isomers. In configurational isomers, there are again two types. One is optical isomers and second one is geometric isomerism, right? Now, start with configurational isomers, right? In previous slide, we have seen stereoisomers have two types, conformational and configurational, right? First, we are going to discuss about configurational isomers, right? So first of all, what is configuration? Configuration is a relative position of atoms in a molecule that can be changed exclusively by cleaving and reforming new chemical bond, right? It is nothing but the different arrangement of atoms of a given molecule in the space, right? Without considering the changes after rotation around the single bond, right? Now, what is configurational isomers? Configurational isomers are the stereoisomers which have the same molecular formula but they differ in arrangement of atoms in space, right? This type of stereoisomers cannot be interconverted without breaking and remaking covalent bonds. That means no interconversion by simple rotation around the carbon-carbon single bond, right, or covalent bond. If we produce the enantiomer or isomer for compound or molecule, we must break or remake the new covalent bond, and then will be formation of new isomer, right? So configurational isomers cannot be interconverted without breaking and remaking covalent bonds. Then in configurational isomers we have seen again two types, optical isomers and geometrical isomers, right? First one is optical isomers. These are the isomers which differ on only in their behavior towards plane polarized light, right? Optical isomers have the same molecular formula but they are differ only in their behavior towards plane polarized light. There are mainly two types, enantiomers and diastereomers, right? Enantiomers can be defined as the isomers which have mirror images of each other and they are non-superimposable, right? Diastereomers can be defined as the stereoisomers that are not mirror images for each other and non-superimposable, right? So there is a difference between enantiomer and diastereomers is that enantiomer have mirror images while diastereomers have not mirror images, right? One important structural difference between enantiomer and diastereomers is that enantiomer have one chiral center while diastereomers have two or more chiral center, right? Chirality, right? We have seen that enantiomer or rasterimer, whatever. In short, optical isomer should have chiral center or show the chirality. Now, so first of all, what is chirality? Chirality means property of handness, that is property of right and left hand, right? For example, we cannot superimpose our right hand on our left hand, that is mirror image, so that all the part of left hand will coincide on right hand. But they are mirror images, right? And we cannot superimpose on right hand, right? So it shows the chirality, or known as chiral object or chiral molecule, right? In case of achiral molecule or achiral object, the objects for which the mirror images are identical, right, to the object and superimposable are said to be achiral molecule or achiral object, right? Objects or molecule which show the mirror images which are identical to the original object or molecule, right? So that can be superimposable, and so that's why it is achiral molecule or achiral object, right? For example, see examples of chiral object and achiral object, right? In chiral object, example of hand, left hand is mirror image of right hand, right? That's why they cannot be superimposed as shown in image, right? So imposed like showing mirage, right? If left hand put on right hand, they cannot be superimposed. So that's why it is chiral object. An example of achiral object, see, right? Two flasks are given, both are mirror image for each other, but when one image is imposed on second image, it be superimposed, right? Exactly superimposed. That's why it is a chiral object, right? Same for the molecule. Now, chirality of organic compound. Right? So, as we know that if a mirror image of molecule can be placed on top of the original and three-dimensional arrangement of every atoms, right, is the same, then two molecules are superimposable, right? Molecule have the same mirror image, and then it can be superimposed, then molecule is achiral, right? Consider the example of 1,2-dichlorocyclopentane. See in example, it is the cis isomer of 1,2-dichlorocyclopentane, right, which is achiral. How it is achiral? See in structure, right? Original 1,2-dichlorocyclopentane has the mirror image same as its original molecule, right? So that's why it can be superimposable and superimposed. That's why it is achiral. Second example is of trans 1,2-dichlorocyclopentane, which is chiral. See in image what happens when trans molecule of 1,2-dichlorocyclopentane taken and its mirror image, they cannot be superimposable. That's why it shows the chirality, and that's why it is chiral in nature, right? Now, structural requirements for enantiomer. You can also say for the optical activity or for the chirality. In short, optical isomers are chiral in nature or should be chiral in nature, right? Enantiomers are the example of optical isomers, right? So that's structural requirements for enantiomers. For example, 2-chlorobutane, right? Here given structure of 2-chlorobutane. If we denote as a mirror image or enantiomeric form, then it is optically active. Why? Because its one original molecule will not superimposed on the its mirror image, right? That's why it has the mirror image, but they are non superimposable. That's why it is optically active, right? For being optically active, now what should be? What should have molecules? Molecules who have what should be, right? First one is presence of chiral center, and second one is absence of elements of symmetry. Right. Now, presence of chiral center. Right. Different type of center as a carbon, silicon, phosphorus, nitrogen can be as a chiral center. Right. Absence of elements of symmetry. A symmetrical element should be absent in the structure for being chiral, right? What type of elements of symmetry? Center of symmetry, plane of symmetry, axis of symmetry, and alternating axis of symmetry, right? So first one is chiral center, right? Discuss about the requirements. First one is chiral center. Any center at which four different groups are bonded are known as chiral centers, right? Some examples of chiral center are carbon, phosphorus, sulfur, silicon, nitrogen, etc. Right? See, this structure is 2-bromobutane. Right? It have the chiral center starred carbon. Here one star is denoted in both structure. Right? Starred carbon is chiral in nature. Why? Because it have four different bonded group. One is methyl group, one is hydrogen, bromine and ethyl group. Right? Four different groups are bonded to this carbon. That's why it is chiral carbon or chiral center. Right? Then second example is phosphorus chiral center. Right? Again phosphorus have four different groups. OR1, OR2, OR3 in three alkyl group R1, R2, R3 should be different, right? And one is oxygen atom. Other example of chiral center are nitrogen chiral center and sulfur chiral center. See in both structure, stereo center as a nitrogen and sulfur, right? First, see in first image. There is a four different bonding to the nitrogen and sulfur. One is lone pair of electron, one is methyl group, one is chlorine, and one is hydrogen. As well as in sulfur, same. One is non-bonded electron, lone pair of electron, methyl group, phenyl, and hydrogen. Right? See, this one is chart for understanding. Presence of non-bonded or lone pair of electron, how it is considered as a ligand, right? See, is the electron lone pair geometry at the atom tetrahedral, right? First observe the molecule and see the lone pair of electron if present, then it is tetrahedrally present or no. Right? If lone pair of electron is tetrahedrally present to the atom, right, then it is considered as a part of chiral molecule, right? But if it is not tetrahedrally present, then compound is achiral, right? Now, electron is tetrahedrally present, then observe the second thing, that are the four ligands on the atom different, right? Other groups or atoms which is present on the atom chiral center are different or not, and consider the lone pair of electron as a one ligand or as a one group, right? As seen nitrogen and sulfur, right? Consider lone pair of electron as a one group or one ligand which is attached to the chiral center, right? And other three groups should be different. Then it is chiral if electron pair is tetrahedrally present, but there are not other groups are different, right? Then compound is achiral in nature, right? Next requirement is absence of elements of symmetry, right? What type of elements of symmetry should be absent? First one is center of symmetry, right? It is a point within an object such that a straight line drawn from any element of the object to the center and extended an equal distance on the other side encounters an equal element. Example, 1,4-dimethyl cyclohexane, right? Same structure. If we start to draw line from left side to the center, and then center to expanded to next side, right side, right? Then it divide the molecule into two equal element, right? So it is a center of symmetry, and it should be absent. Then and then compound will be chiral in nature. Second one is plane of symmetry, an imaginary plane which divide the molecule into two equal mirror images part, right? For example, of 2,3-dichlorobutane, right? This is example of 2,3-dichlorobutane. If we passes the imaginary plane from the molecule, then it divide the molecule into two same part, which is mirror image for each other, right? So it is a plane of symmetry. Second example, same tartaric acid, and same thing will be seen if a plane of symmetry pass or imaginary plane passes through the molecule, it divide the molecule into two same halves, and which is mirror images for each other, right? So in spite being presence of chiral center, right, to chiral center, molecule is achiral. It does not show the chirality. Next, excess of symmetry. In imaginary line through a compound and rotation of the compound by an integral fraction of a circle around this axis brings the compound to superposition on itself, right? See the example of 1,2-dichloroethene, right? If imaginary line is drawn, and through this line molecule is rotated about 180 degree, then group or atoms present in the molecule is superposition on itself, right, through this axis. So this type of axis make the molecule achiral. Then alternating axis of symmetry, an axis such that when an object containing such an axis is rotated by some degree above the axis, and then reflection is effected across the plane at right angle to the axis, right, a new object is obtained that is the same as original molecule, right? See again example, that is 1,2-dichloroethene. Here trans molecule is taken, right? When trans 1,2-dichloroethene molecule is rotated around 180 degree through an axis, right, through an imaginary axis, then it will produce a molecule, new isomer, and mirror image of this new molecule is as same as original molecule, right, and it also make the molecule achiral, right? So that's these all elements of symmetry should be absent for being a chiral in nature, right? Thank you.